So let's move on to the agenda. So welcome, as I said, I'm Chair. Apologies for absence. We do have a couple of committee members who will be joining later on during today's meeting. So hopefully by the time we go through the committee members, everyone will be on. I'll go to key highlights of the last year, and then I'll call on a couple of the committee members to discuss around communications and membership engagement. We'll spend a few minutes hearing from you, our members, and then we'll go into our special topic today around modern recruitment, which will be facilitated by one of our committee members, Kevin. Good, so just want to spend a few minutes talking about Chiltern branch. I'm a proud member of the Chiltern branch. I'm very happy to have been the chair for the last year and a half and moving into another year. So the Chiltern branch comprises of 605 members. Looking at the statistics, it's really good to show, to see the value our members hold for their membership levels. A lot of our members are grad and CM and chartered. In the last year, 6 of our members moved to CM IOSH, and 1 actually moved to fellow of IOSH. And really exciting that we had 31 new members join the branch. Branch diversity, however, and this is something we've seen in the health and safety profession, we have a 25% distribution of our membership are female. I know one of the areas for us in IOSH is having a lot of conversations around diversity and inclusion of our membership, especially as an international organization. I want to see more of that diversity. So something that we'll continue to work on and encourage, especially as we work with council and say the future leaders around how we continue to encourage people to join IOSH and join the Chiltern branch. I won't go into all of these numbers, but one of the good things here is you can see the distribution of our membership in terms of the groups that they are involved in as well. So a good mix. A lot of our members are in the part of the construction group as well, the environmental and waste management group, and fire risk management group. So that kind of shows where people's core interests lie as well. So just reflecting on the last year, Chiltern branch back in 2020 was the first branch that gone virtual. And we've maintained that cadence of virtual meetings where we've had meetings at least once a month over the past, 2 years since we've been in this kind of new way of working. We did hold our first face-to-face meeting back in March. So it was good to start, myself personally, that was the first time I saw a lot of the committee members in person. So it's been good to be able to see that we can do face-to-face as well as virtual. One of the good things of the last 2 years is that we've had a lot of interest from international IOSH members, right? So the virtual world has allowed us to connect more as an international group of health and safety professionals. Another good thing we're really proud of is our social media presence. Over the last year, we've moved to about 1,250 followers on LinkedIn and 800 followers on Twitter. So we have more followers than members, which shows again our reach. Last year, we had a really successful summer school Back to Basics series that was facilitated by our own Alan Plum, who is on the call today. And it was so successful that we'll be having another summer school series this year, of which Luke will share a bit more on. But I wanted to highlight some of the feedback we got from that summer school series. That's noted there. Said really good to have had this. It was one of the best events that they had attended. Very informative session. Like the idea of practical aspects as well as the presentations. And the Back to Basics series was allowing us to get back to the fundamentals of health and safety. So again, as I said, because it was so successful and our members found value in it, we're repeating it for this year. 16 events last year, over 1,600 people attended. We've had people, we've had registration numbers as high as 500. We've had events where over 100 people had attended virtually. We've done collaboration sessions with branches during our summer school series. We've done collaboration with groups. So we're really about working and integrating across our members and colleagues in IOSH. Again, one of the things we're proud of is our surveys that comes back from these events. 90% of you all who did the surveys rated it 4+ out of 5. And 96% said it met or exceeded their expectations and the presentation was informative. So a really good bar for us to maintain as we go into the next year. This highlights the topics that we covered last year. So a mix of risk management, leadership and management, health and safety law, and sustainability. So we try to cover the remit of topics aligned to the IOSH objectives. And as you can see there last year, very proud of Alan. He really managed this weekly suite of summer school series that ran between July and early September last year. This graph just shows what was our the feedback, and I highlighted, most of these scored 90% and higher. So communication, and I just saw I accepted Tony in. So Tony, are you there? I wanted to have you speak a bit around some of the communications work that we've done over the last year.
You can unmute.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Right. Okay. So our main up-to-date form of communication is LinkedIn, as many of you may know. It's within the branch has access to it directly, and we can do updates within minutes. So those who want to find out the very latest about what's going on at the branch, I suggest you start with LinkedIn. All the other communications things that we have within IOSH have some form of delay in them because we have to go through other parties to do it. Can I have the next slide or the next? Yeah, what's that? Okay, we also communicate on Twitter, and there is a Facebook as well, but Alan deals with that. Next one, two, please. Right. And then, of course, we use the mailer system to communicate with all our members. Now, can I have the next slide, please? Right. Now, right from the beginning of lockdown, we've run our own YouTube site. It's still there. There's some 65 recordings on it taken between most of our sessions between 2020 and 2022, and they're all available. If you want to get them directly off the branch site, you need to search IOSH Chiltern Branch YouTube. However, the main focus going forward will be the IOSH Central website, but we will always keep the YouTube branch site going as backup. Now, if you want some feedback in the vein of this reporting, the YouTube says that for the year 2021, IOSH Chiltern Branch, we had 1,771 viewers and 11.6k viewers, as you could see, and the top ratings were from this country, Ireland and Australia. So we have been active on the various communication fronts, and it's comments on how we progress on that. It's not just down to me, it's down to the Chiltern team, because keeping all this media going and keeping it up to date does take quite a lot of resource. So that's me on communications.
Thanks so much, Tony, for that. And actually, later on, we would want to get some feedback from yourselves on how we can continue to engage with members, but we'll come to that. So we just wanted to spend a few minutes reflecting on the last year. We take members' feedback very seriously. When you attend and answer the feedback questions, we read all of those responses. When you suggest topics you would like to see, we add those to our suite. We have an events planning team that looks at planning ahead of different topics. But again, over the last 2 years, because of the virtual world, we felt, how have we engaged with members? What else do we want to do? So we would want to spend some time just getting some feedback from yourselves. So that's a reflection of the last year. I now want to move into our committee for the coming year. So as per Regulation 15 for IOSH, we must have a branch executive committee, and the committee must consist of 5 principal officers. So the chair, the vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and our comms coordinator. And then we have a broader set of committee members, which should be no less than 3, but up to 12. And the officers and committee members will hold the office for 2 years. So as I mentioned at the start, some of us are returning. So we'll be coming into our 2nd year, and then others, we have new committee members. And one of the things we want to encourage others, if you are interested in joining the committee, look out for the next cycle of elections, but you're also welcome to join our committee meetings. Just reach out to us, let us know if you would like to attend a meeting. We always would welcome people to join us. So, as we go through the discussions, please put any questions or comments you have in the chat, and we'll come to it at the back end. So your committee for this year, principal officers, so myself, Melissa as chair, Luke James as vice chair, Kevin Barr, treasurer, Tony Cox, communications coordinator, and Jake Moffat as secretary. And the rest of the committee membership would be Tim Birkin, Louise Hoskins, who, as everyone knows, is currently IOSH president, but she's also a Chiltern member. So very proud that she's part of our branch. Bridget Lately, who is new to the committee. Asarel Mata, new to the committee. Lee Owens is returning. Alan Plum, returning. Maria White, new to the committee, and David Thomas, returning. So I would like to make a special welcome to our new committee members, Bridget, Asarel, and Maria. So that's your committee members for this year. And I was hoping we could have all gone on screen. So maybe I can stop sharing for a second. And just spend 2 seconds to see our committee members, because I can't see who's on if I'm sharing. So see Melissa, Tim, Kevin, Alan, Jake, and Bridget is there. Cyril's hit there. Excellent. Tony is there. Excellent. So Luke, I know Luke was going to be coming in a bit late, and Lee isn't on. So good. And in the upcoming months, you'll get to meet the committee members further. And as I said, if you're interested in attending any of the committee meetings, do drop us a message at chiltern@iosh.com, and we'll send you the meeting details. So good. So again, I just want to say welcome to the 3 new committee members. So I'll share my screen again. And just want to move on to a couple of key IOSH updates. So, a lot's been happening as we've shared around, with last two years and a bit. We moved from face-to-face meetings to virtual. Now we're moving to what the future looks like, and which would be more hybrid piece. And key messages from IOSH Central is with regards to face-to-face events, we are returning to face-to-face events, but it will be more hybrid. One of the things that came back from members is that 80% of our members felt that they wanted to see virtual as well as face-to-face. We've seen advantages of both modes of branch meetings. So the decision has been taken. I will continue with virtual committee meetings, as well as face-to-face. And I mentioned that we've had one of our face-to-face March, and as part of our summer school series, which you'll hear more of, we will be looking to do another face-to-face event over the summer period. The other update is around budgets. So one of the changes that will be happening is that the budget will now be held centrally to support the virtual and face-to-face meetings, and it will be managed through the regional managers. It worked well when we were planning for our face-to-face event, and we got the support for our face-to-face event and the budget approval. I think before each branch held a budget, but now as a region, there will be a budget, and we put in our requests when we're ready for any face-to-face or anything else that we need some funding for. And then networks review. I'm not sure if everyone knows about this, but there is networks review that had been started, and coming out of the lessons and insights from COVID, there is further review and consultation that will be coming out. So look out for more information on this. We will share, well, you'll get some from IOSH Central, but also we'll share as soon as we have more updates. We'll share in our committee meetings and our branch meetings. Good. Look ahead. So one of the things the committee will be doing right after this AGM would be a strategy session. So where we, myself and the committee members will be getting together to plan our key focus areas for the next year. However, we still want to keep aligned to the IOSH strategy. As we know, Work 2022 is going to be reviewed, and a new IOSH strategy will be coming out. But until that is issued, we're still aligned to the strategy around enhance, collaborate, and influence. And everything we do as a branch committee and in communication with yourselves as members is around how we support the IOSH strategy. So things around our branch topics are aligned to the competency framework, right? We want to do more regional joint events. So we did a couple of those last year. We want to work more with the Future Leaders Network. We want to work with our local business. So we weren't able to do as much of that last year, but we started some conversations like with Bucks Business around how could we do sessions to connect with the business community. We want to grow our membership, and we want to recognize and celebrate successes. So that's why for me, it was like, how many people have moved into CMI IOSH? 6 of our members have. We want to be able to recognize and celebrate that more as people have key milestones. And that gets more into how do we continue to engage with yourselves as branch members. So I'll hand over now to Tim Birkin, one of the committee members, to just spend a few minutes around branch member engagement. So Tim.
Thanks, Melissa. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. So yeah, I just wanted on a more grassroots level just to talk about the member engagement we have at Chiltern branch. We have a number of things that are ready to go, subject to participation really. But at the moment we have obviously the branch meetings, virtual and in person. The LinkedIn Chiltern branch page, as Tony mentioned, is our sort of communications hub with our latest information, because it's kind of owned by Chiltern branch, so there's no delay in what we want to put up there. It's also got information about the people and some of the stuff I'm talking about today. So if you want to engage in any way, publicly or anonymously or however you want to do it, there's a facility through LinkedIn. Also on the Twitter page, which Alan still looks after, I think. We're looking for an apprentice for that. If there's any takers, any twits out there that want to be recognised. So we also have the branch committee meetings, which are open to all to attend. In days of yore, when we had physical meetings and less of the virtual, people used to just, if they were interested in the committee or getting more involved, they would attend the committee meeting, which was following the branch meeting, which is how I got involved 6-7 years ago. Is I just came to a committee meeting and then came to another one and then became a committee member and have kind of stuck around. But just so you know, it's an open house really, the branch, so virtual or real. Anyone is welcome to join the committee for just a meeting. You don't have to actually formally join. We have at the moment in the branch a mentoring program which links in with the sort of formal mentoring that IOSH have. So it's more, again, a grassroots level. So what we are offering is to engage with different members of the committee and also the branch to be able to help people along their way by describing their journey, and to create working groups, virtual if necessary, at the moment as it is, and also to help with IPD, CPD, or just health and safety advice. So it's not rigid. It is whatever people want it to be. So there's a number of people within the committee that want to help each other, and also other members. But we're just waiting for volunteers, really. So that's what's going on at the moment. And yeah, as a committee, we're very keen to engage with our members, because from my perspective, we are a committee that represents the membership. So our purpose, as well as doing things in line with IOSH, is to represent the membership, and do what they want within reason, to present topics that are interesting and useful to them, and to engage with them in different ways. But we're very keen for anyone to give us their opinion on what topics you would like. I've just posted something on the chat. You can either come back to me directly, or reply to everyone, just about topics you would like to see presented, what you would like to, how you would like to engage with the branch. So yeah, anything like that. I've lost my page. So yeah, we're just very interested in knowing what your thoughts are as members, so we can act accordingly as a committee. That's all I wanted to throw in there. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Tim. I think you had a poll question you wanted to get launched.
Yeah, if it's launchable.
So yeah, if you all can spend a few minutes with this question while I look at something logistically.
And also in the chat, if anyone wants to post any comments in the chat about how to engage, what topics they'd like, anything really, because as I say, the committee is here to represent the membership.
Yeah, so this question is, how would you like to engage with the branch more? So mentorship, informal Zoom chats, attend committee meetings virtual, attend committee meetings face-to-face. Yeah, and we'll continue to ask for feedback on topics. What would you all like to see with face-to-face? One of the things I think when we reflect on our committee, we reflect on our the face-to-face meeting that we had is really focusing those on the practical kind of presentation. So if it's like a site visit or a demonstration of a tool or something like that, versus some of these topics that we can do virtually. So the last 2 years has really given us that benefit to kind of see when we get together in person, making that real value added. Good. Someone's asked if there's a reason we're only allowed one choice. Good question. I think it's to kind of focus on what you say is the top one you would like to see.
Post in the chat anything that's off of that. We're limited by the rules of Zoom, as we all are, as to it's quite finite how many things you can put into a poll. So that's the reason for the limitation, and also hence the question in the chat where you are unlimited within reason to tell us what you think. Good.
I think 17 of 31 persons have responded. So everyone, just even if you're not a branch member, because I'm not sure if we have visitors, and so still, how would you like to engage with the branch more? So everyone should answer.
Melissa.
Yes.
I'll make a comment. It's Alan Plom here. I mean, there might be a bit of confusion because the poll is about how they can interact with us, the broader committee, and then there's a supplementary question about engaging with us more widely through meetings as well, which is where Tim's coming from with the what topics would you like to hear, etc., isn't it? I think we all enjoyed our face-to-face meeting, but we recognise we're in a new world, and that won't be feasible. And it's great to see a number of international visitors with us today, and that's fantastic. And the branch has been really good at that, and we'd like to see more of it too. So clearly the only way that we can engage with our friends overseas, not least Tim as a committee member, is in this little square box on our screens, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, I live in Sweden, and we used to have a secretary who is with us today.
Yeah.
It's been very quiet, which is unusual. Kurt Cadet used to be our secretary for the committee. So we've had people from all over the world join the committee. So we're not exclusive to the Chiltern Hills.
Yeah, but I think so. So just spending a few more minutes on this. So it's two things. Virtual has allowed us, as Alan has said, to connect globally. So, you know, we have committee members that are in a different country. We've had presentations where we've had people from 17 time zones on, right? You know, those have been amazing. One of the things we reflected on was the Chiltern branch members, the local membership. How many of our 605 members have been connected, have been staying in touch? And I think that's going to be one of our focus areas for this year, because I personally don't know the 600. Well, I know the committee members and a few others, right? And yes, maybe it'll be hard to know everyone by name, but I've wondered, has all 605 persons attended at least one of our meetings? I'm not sure, based on, you know, the analysis we've been doing. And that's what we want to find out. Is it because we have not done as many face-to-face? So when we do the next face-to-face, how do we get more of our 605 showing up? So, okay. Good. I was looking to see if Luke has joined, because would want to talk about summer school. Okay, so we'll stop the poll there. So I'll stop sharing that if I was, and I'll share screen again. And thanks, Tim, for that piece. I know it's a, you know, you've challenged us every time around, you know, branch members engagement. So, you know, thanks for sharing more on that today. Good. Just want to spend a few more minutes about some of the upcoming things, and then I'll be handing over to Kevin. So again, one of the things I'm personally proud of, and I'm proud of the team, the events planning team, which includes Alan and Jake and Kevin, you know, and the rest of the committees, is around the topics that we look to kick off. I think in the last 2 years, we've had a diversity of topics, right? We've talked about safety too. We've talked about sustainability. We've talked about many different things. And then we've done the back to basics, right? So we went back to the core fundamentals of health and safety. So look, continuing with that team, between now and the end of the year, these are the topics we're looking to cover. Next month, we want to cover driving safety. We know a few things have come out about that, and especially as more people return to get to the offices, you know, driving safety risk continues to exist. So we want to spend some time on that. Then between June and August, we'll be back to basics, and Luke has just joined, so I'll let him talk about that in the next slide. And then in the fourth quarter, again, going back to our focus areas, which is one around young people and the future leaders, we will be getting back to doing academic presentations from university students. So to David Thomas, who's on our committee, we're going to organize that. We want to do a piece around the IOSH grades and progressing through the grades. We did this back in 2020. You know, we want to come back and check in what's the steps to go from tech to grad to chartered to chartered fellow. Our annual legal updates will continue. Those have always been very popular. So we'll be planning that again. We have our resident Kizzy and Alison, who always support those. And then hopefully this year we can do a face-to-face end of year branch event. We attempted to do a webinar back in 2020. So now we want to kind of get together and celebrate at the end of the year. So I now want to hand over to Luke, who is our vice chair, just to give a brief preview of Back to Basics 2 for this year. So Luke. I think Luke's on. Hello?
Luke? He's in the room and he's unmuted, but...
I can hear his lips moving, but there's nothing else. No sound.
Yeah, I can't see the screen.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we're
Yes.
hearing you now. Yes.
You can hear me now. In full.
The famous
full
sentence for the last 2 years.
Yeah, so we've got an exciting package coming up of 6 sessions, building on what we done last year. We had 6 fantastic sessions last year, really good attendance, really well received, great work by Alan in setting it up. And this year we're looking to go again. The basics are back. So we've got 6 sessions. What we've done is we've moved on from the 6 core ones, almost the 6-pack that we started off with, and we've moved on to these ones here. So we've got building a health and safety culture. We've got Anne Griffiths, who's going to be doing that one, who's the head of health and safety at the Science Museum. And then we've got constructing a health and safety policy, fire precautions, systems risk assessments, CDM, DSE, accidents and incidents investigations. That's the last line. We don't want to, hopefully you won't have accidents and incidents that we'll have to start looking into, but when all else fails, that's the one we're going to be looking at. After those 6, we're then going to have a day out. We're going to go to Cranfield University and have a look around there as a team, and hopefully, you know, some of you can join us in walking around and seeing labs in progress and see everything going on. But more will be coming out about this in the coming weeks, and we'll be putting it up there. The first one is the 22nd of June. So it will be done on a basis after that. So keep an eye out on LinkedIn, Twitter, and also on our other social media posts.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Luke. So yeah. Did someone say something? Oh. So exciting look ahead of activities. Keeping, as I said, with the theme of doing a broad range of topics. Really looking forward to Back to Basics too, and especially that we'll do that field trip afterwards. So good. So that's Chiltern branch. Look back at 2021. Welcoming the new committee members, and as Luke has said, look out to our various communication channels for further information on our branch meetings, our committee meetings, and other activities that we'll be focusing on. So again, I just want to spend just 5 minutes, maybe just if there's any questions or comments people have before we move into the presentation with Kevin and team. So does anyone want to come off mic, ask a question, make a comment? I'm looking at the chat.
Melissa, there was one question posted earlier. It relates to recruitment, so I think we can probably pick that up during the panel discussion that Kevin will chair.
Yeah, I saw that. So yes, agree with that. Great. Someone said congratulations to committee members. Great. Yes. And we will be, as I mentioned, doing a strategy session maybe June, because we may do that face-to-face, which is exciting. Great. Okay, so if nothing else, I will officially close out the AGM for this year. And again, thank you for, so actually I should say many thanks to the committee members who were there for 2021 into 2022. Without the committee members, we would not have gotten through many of the things that we did as a branch. It's a strong network of members who've, passionate around making a difference. We've also had people we've called friends of the committee who weren't committee members, but have always been there to help support. So recognition to people like David Whiteleg, I mentioned Kizzy Augustine, Allison, and then we've had Natasha Graham. Shireen Bishop was on the committee and she supported many of the events. And I'm sure I'm missing a name or two. And then, of course, Louise Hoskins has been in the background, staying connected as she's busy as IOSH president. But I just personally want to thank all of the committee members. Alan, there's this phrase of I'm trying to come out, and they keep pulling me back in. So, we're very grateful for Alan to continue to stay on the committee. Luke, Lee, Tim, Tony, thanks to Kurt Cadet, who was on the committee as well last year. So again, very grateful for everyone. And if I've forgotten a name, I do apologize. Alan, were you going to say something?
I was just waving to Kurt across the ether there.
No, great. And then the other thing I just want to say before I hand over is that Kevin and Jake joined the committee as to the co-option process. Actually, if I remember, it was July last year, we had them presented our future leaders session. And, I reached out to them and said, if you're interested, there's a co-option process, and which we followed through. And then when the election process came up this year, they applied. So thank you, Kevin and Jake. You all have made a huge difference in the last year as co-opted members. And then finally, thanks to Brenton, who isn't here, for being the regional manager of which Chiltern, for Chiltern, and he has, continued to support and guide us. So I personally look forward to the new year with the returning members and the new committee members. So with that, I'll close off this part and hand over to Kevin.